Hey financial warriors, and welcome to the show. And a few years ago, I made a very successful video called How to Climb the Credit Card Ladder. If I'd known it would get over 1 million views, I would have combed my hair. Anyway, in this video, we are going to look at another ladder system for building your wealth. And I'm going to give you 8 milestones that you can tick off on the way. So these are 8 steps to climbing the wealth ladder. Number 1. A 700 plus credit score. Guys, here in the US, the path to building your wealth starts with developing a good credit score, no matter what Dave Ramsey says.
Screw FICO. Why are you giving banks money to run up a false measure of success?
Even if you're like, screw the banks, I think they're a bunch of evil monopoly men who I passed go and they didn't even give me $200. But no, you need a good credit score. It really is the first step on the wealth building ladder, unless you want to get ripped off with massive deposits when you rent an apartment, get a cell phone plan, or get really high interest rates on any loan product you decide to get. I think this meme sums it up well. Yep, your identity isn't even worth stealing. It'll end up costing the thieves money for the loans they take out in your name. Maybe they'll even come back and sue you for the high interest rates they incurred. There's a lot of crazy lawsuits out there. But anyway, just think of it as playing the banks at their own game and winning. A credit score of 700 will let you apply for basically any credit card out there, and a credit score over 740 will generally get you the best interest rates on any mortgage or loan product you apply for. And that will set you up nicely for step 3, but first you gotta do step 2. Step 2, a stock portfolio over $25,000. Having a stock portfolio worth over $25,000 bypasses the pattern day trader rule. Now I know not everyone wants to be a day trader, but it does give you a certain amount of flex value, and it indicates that your portfolio is a certain size, and I think it's a cool milestone. Anyway, let me first explain about this rule. So if you have a margin account and you day trade, i.e. you buy and sell the same stock in one day, and you do that over 3 times in 5 business days, as long as it represents over 6% of the total trades for that period, your account will get flagged as a pattern day trader account. And if your account has less than $25,000 in it, then you will be unable to day trade until your balance reaches over $25,000 or the flag on your account is removed. Now, I don't want to go into all the details on the pattern day trader rule. We could do an entire video on that separately, but basically, FINRA put this rule into place to protect people. They want to see that you have a certain amount of money before they let you participate in certain financial activities. Whether that's protecting people is debatable. But anyway, most people use the stock market in order to save up to buy a property. And if you're doing that, you're probably going to end up with a stock portfolio worth over $25,000 before you cash it out for that down payment. If your account reaches over $25,000 and you don't want to buy a house, that's cool too. You can just keep growing it. And FINRA isn't limiting your ass, and you can buy and sell however you choose because you're rich enough to be trusted. Either way, it's a big milestone on your wealth building journey. So now you have your down payment and you have your good credit score, you're ready for the next step. Step 3. Own a primary residence. Now, owning your own home is a big milestone. Now, not everyone will necessarily want to do this. Some people rent where they live and they're sitting there with a portfolio with thousands of dollars worth of stocks, or may even have a rental property. But for a lot of people, owning their own home is something that they want to do, and 65% of homes in the United States are owner-occupied. And it has its advantages, such as building equity in your home that you can then borrow money against, deductions such as mortgage interest deduction, etc., and just being able to modify the house however you please. Now, the act of saving enough money for the down payment and the closing costs, like we saw in the previous section, requires a certain amount of financial stability. I paid $48,000 in down payment and $10,000 in closing costs for this house that we're in now. Now, because there are certain types of loans, such as FHA loans where you can put 3.5% down, or VA loans or USDA loans where you can actually put 0% down, this may not be a huge outlay for some people. However, the average down payment for a house in the United States is 6%, which on this house at its current market value of about $300,000 would be $18,000 in down payments. And for the average home in California, which the average value is $722,000, that would be over $40,000 in down payment. Thus, most people who buy a house will end up with $25,000 or more, bypassing the pattern day trader rule before they withdraw their money. Then you will also need a good credit score like we saw in step 1, and also a good enough debt to income ratio that they can get approved for a mortgage. And that's why owning your own primary residence is step 3 on the wealth building ladder. It's a big financial achievement, and anyone who's done it should feel proud of themselves. Step 4. Accredited investor. We're now moving into the realms of something that is a lot less common for the average person. There are just 13 million households in the United States that have accredited investor status. That's only 10% of US households. Now, being an accredited investor opens up financial opportunities that would otherwise not be available to you. But first of all, how do you become an accredited investor? Well, the two most common methods are either earning at least $200,000 a year for 2 years in a row, or $300,000 a year if your household income is split between 2 spouses and neither of them earns over $200,000, or having over $1 million in net worth excluding your primary residence. There are a few other financial qualifications that can also get you accredited investor status, but these are far less common, so we won't talk about them. In case you're wondering where I am on the wealth building ladder, this is it. I am an accredited investor. But I qualify by having 2 tax returns that show over $200,000 a year in annual income and not through the $1 million net worth. Because to be totally honest with you guys, I'm not a millionaire, unlike some of these other financial influencers on YouTube. So I'm not gonna give you unrealistic goals. I'm just a down-to-earth, relatable guy who gives great advice, which is not financial advice because I'm not a CPA and can't give financial advice. Anyway, what does being an accredited investor let you do? Well, it lets you invest in startups, i.e. companies that are not public, which can give you the potential for great gains, but it also can be a little risky, which is why, just like the patent day trader rule, the Securities and Exchange Commission hold back certain financial opportunities from you until you're rich enough to be trusted. But even if you're not an accredited investor, there is still a way that you can invest in startups, and that is through the sponsor of today's video, Start Engine. They are an equity crowdfunding platform that allows either accredited or non-accredited investors alike the opportunity to invest in startups through something called Regulation CF and Regulation A+. There are still limits on the amount that you can invest, especially for non-accredited investors, but this shouldn't be an issue to most users, and it does protect you from excessive risk. The platform has over 600,000 potential investors in their community and has invested over $450 million through Regulation CF and Regulation A+ to date. And they have some serious business people behind them. Their CEO is Howard Marks, who founded the multi-billion-dollar market cap video game company Activision, and they have Shark Tank's Kevin O'Leary as a strategic advisor and paid spokesperson. If you are interested in investing in startups, Start Engine actually have a free article for you. 5 things you need to know before investing in startups. I'll put the link to it below. All you need to do is click through, enter your email, and you can read their startup investing guide for free. All right, let's move on to the next wealth building milestone. Step 5, $1 million net worth. Now, if you include the primary residence in the calculation, it is a lot easier to hit a $1 million net worth than you might think. Remember, the average house in California costs $722,000 in the year 2021, and that's just the average house. So if you are someone who's owned their house for many years, perhaps you've already paid off the mortgage, the house has appreciated a lot in value, and then add in a few $100,000 extra in investments, and bam, you're at $1 million. But this is also a deceiving statistic, because if you wanted to sell that house yet still appreciate the same level of lifestyle in the same area of the country, you'd have to buy another equally expensive house. So you don't really benefit from that level of net worth. You're not a millionaire in the truest sense. That title is reserved for people on the next rung of our wealth building ladder. Step 6, $1 million plus net worth, excluding primary residence. The number of $1 million plus excluding primary residence net worth households in the United States is currently at about 13 million, or you could also say 8% of the US population. These are millionaires in the truest sense of the word, and that net worth is invested in assets such as rental properties, stocks, crypto that give them some appreciation and perhaps some cash flow. I guess you could still be a millionaire if you blew all your wealth on a garage full of Lambos though. But in most cases, it is going to be assets that generate wealth. Statistics have shown that most millennial millionaires own 3 properties with a total portfolio value of $1.4 million. So you can see that being a millionaire isn't really that special anymore. There are literally millions of people who are millionaires. But you know what is special? The people on the next step of our wealth building ladder. Step 7. $50 million net worth. Having a $50 million net worth classes you as an ultra high net worth individual. And I don't think you really want to be in this group. I heard they face a lot of problems. Look, there's even an Investopedia article entitled Problems Ultra High Net Worth Individuals Face. From changing tax codes to estate planning to maintaining their lifestyle in retirement, it sounds like a headache. Perhaps we should start a charity to help these people out. It could be kind of a reverse charity where they unload their problems by unloading their wealth and giving it to people who reverse donate into the charity. Anyway, in 2017, there were 205 people in the United States who received $50 million or more that year in wages. I'd love to see what their payroll taxes came to. But we're not talking just about wages here. We want to look at net worth overall. According to Credit Suisse, there are over 89,000 people in the US who have a net worth of over $50 million. And that's also 50% of all the high net worth individuals or ultra high net worth individuals across the entire world. Now, I don't really expect that many people to reach this level. I'm really just including it for fun. Much like the 8th and final step on our wealth building ladder. Step 8, net worth of over $1 billion. This is it. You're on level 8, you've completed life, you've basically amassed as much money as is possible. You're a billionaire. According to the most recent Forbes list, there are 724 billionaires in the United States and 2,755 worldwide, controlling over $13 trillion in wealth. Crazy thing is, Elon Musk actually doubled his wealth since that list came out, and he overtook Bezos to become the richest person in the world. Now, I don't expect most people to even think about reaching this level. I'm just including it because it is the ultimate goal for a wealth builder. I think a realistic goal, though, for most people would to reach 1 million plus net worth, excluding primary residence. For me, I hope to reach that in the next year or two and be at that 50 million level in about 30 years by the time I retire. All right, guys, that is the video. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave your comments below and please subscribe if you're new. A big thank you to Start Engine for sponsoring, and you can check out their free article in the links below. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.